Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another version of Cypher Sistas, or another episode of Cypher Sistas. Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing over there, Rachel?
I'm Gucci. I can't complain. Uh, Already a great busy start to the week. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy for you to join us today.
Man, same. So, what you smoking on over there?
I am smoking something super delicious. It's called Cake Mix,
Okay.
and it's a mixture of London pound cake and wedding cake. It's 85% indica, 25% sativa hybrid. It also has CBD, naturally occurring CBD, and
Okay.
THC, which is you can tell, you definitely can tell because it
You
gave.
feel it?
Oh my goodness, it gave me every single thing that it said. Because yesterday is when I got it, and I had a headache, and it helps. It's supposed to help with headaches, and my headache went away immediately after I smoked my split.
Very,
So
very nice.
that strain is the truth. As far as the indica like sleepy thing, that did not happen. That did
Okay.
not happen to me.
Okay. That's that bullshit again. She proving them wrong again on that
Mhm.
sativa indica stuff. All right. Personally, I went with a classic, y'all. So I'm doing some white runts tonight. There's the picture. Oh yeah, the good shit. So white runts is calming, and it's got low THC in it. So I didn't realize that because it always got me right. So maybe it's got the perfect the perfect mixture of THC and CBD. But
Maybe.
anyway, it's supposed to be kind of lemony, and I taste that. Right? It's tingly, relaxed, euphoric effects. It's got peach sweetness and vanilla flavors to it. And that is what I'll be enjoying this evening. Yeah.
Um, so this episode is brought to you by Wet by Cake Mix and White Runts.
Yeah.
See your local plug to get your flavors.
Facts, man. Facts. All right.
Y'all gonna be hearing my cough all I have a slight cold from my incubating of germs children.
Mm.
And I'm smoking, and as you can see, I'm outside on my back porch. So
Good
I
times. Good
know
times.
what it is. Today y'all getting a tour of my spot.
There you go. There you go. Well, look, man, I think we're gonna jump into some of this legal stuff really quick, and then we'll kick off the hot topic.
That's what's up.
So, let's see. The FDA is getting involved in Minnesota's crackdown on THC Delta 8, right? And
Good,
so, now
good.
a lot of stuff will
Aid
start
is
to be
synthetic.
regulated. Yeah, yeah. So
And
I
I
think
feel
they're
like
gonna
it should
use.
be regulated all over the country, but
So I think they're gonna use Minnesota as a starting point and kind of go from there, right? So in Connecticut, y'all get ready because recreational sales begin on January 10th. So good luck to you guys. Have fun with that. Smoke some stuff. Come tell us about it. Let us know what you're doing out there.
yeah, for real. I know a couple of people in Connecticut. I'm looking forward to seeing their posts on Instagram about what they got going on.
Heck yeah. So January 10th, be on the lookout, right? So in Kansas legislative, they put together a cannabis legislative committee, and
Mhm.
they're actually going to go visit a Missouri cultivation facility this week. So at least they're opening their eyes and opening their minds to try to go do some stuff. So, shout out to Kansas. It's a southern state, so we appreciate y'all doing something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the American Medical Association predicts that state cannabis will be legal in the U.S. nationwide in 2037. So that's a lot coming from the American Medical Association. So, shout out to them. Thanks for doing that research.
Damn it.
What up?
I got smoke in my hair. I was trying
Oh,
to avoid that. I literally just watched it.
oh man.
Let me see if I
That
could.
bites.
I ain't want
That
to put my
bites.
hood on because y'all look.
Hey. um. So Mark Fogel, a Democrat out of Pennsylvania, is concerned about. I'm sorry. There is a person in Pennsylvania, Mark Fogel, who was a teacher. He was an international educator. for 35 years. He is also in prison in Russia, and so people are starting to make some noise about him coming home as well. Brittany Griner was recently released,
Right?
So, that's kind of a big deal.
And well, you're talking about a hot topic now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna jump back to it, but that was just a shot. In California, the cannabis competition at the state fair is going to be redone, which is what's up, because so now they're incorporating it into the state fairs, and so that's kind of a big deal.
Did you hear about the Emerald Cup? That was this weekend too. I did not even know about it.
Oh shucks, I didn't hear about that either.
Way too late. A couple of my colleagues from the Cannabis Coaching Institute attended. It looked like a blast.
So where was it?
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think it was somewhere in Cali. That's all I could say.
I mean, Cali and Colorado are always ahead in the game, right? And Washington too. So that's beautiful. In New York, I thought this was pretty good.
Over here though, because like I don't want to go to Cali.
I got you. So in New York, the license. Okay, so people who have licenses for dispensaries in New York can now still sell their product direct to vendors or direct to people while their storefronts are being built.
Good.
Isn't that some good news?
That's awesome.
So shout out to New York. Hopefully other states follow that
exactly
that pattern. And
that's what I was gonna say, because there was a couple of months ago or sometime earlier in the year, I read a story about a man who like sank hundreds of thousands of dollars waiting for his licensing to come through. And he had built a dispensary, but he couldn't. Like, he's paying rent on the building, paying all this stuff, and they wouldn't give him his permits and his licensing. And it was kind of like, why? Because he was not of the persuasion, the complexion for the connection. You feel me?
Oh, that's kind of
and it's messed up. But I love that New York is like, we don't care about that. We care about
Exactly. Pay us. And that, my friend, is the legislative news for today. So that's what we got in legal.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
what I'm hearing is just a lot of progress across the board, and I'm loving it.
Oh, definitely. Like we talked about last week, it's becoming a lot more mainstream, and so that's a positive thing, because once it becomes more mainstream, it becomes more acceptable, and people don't turn up their nose at it anymore, and it's not that big a deal. There are lots of whenever I go to the dispensaries or whatever, I see nothing but older people in there, right? And it's older people that are taking advantage of the ability to use this medical cannabis and parents of their kids. And so it's really positive to see that a lot of states are starting to step up and start to do things in order to make it easier for people to have access to cannabis. So
what was telling me, because I was thinking about how you just talking about elderly taking seniors being the ones really taking point on using the dispensaries and the medical cannabis. A plug of mine was talking about how when he deals with his senior clients, he can't give them exotics or even mid-grade. They want that Reggie.
Yeah.
They say that it hits too hard. And the seniors may be going to the dispensaries because it's a better chance of variety and finding exactly what they need versus, going to the plug.
Yeah. And it's more controlled too, so a lot of people are still of the mindset, because personally, I like to know that if I get my weed from somebody, either A, I know who you are and I'm gonna come back and beat you down if you gave me some monk stuff, or B, if I'm getting it from the dispensary, now I have a recourse, you know what I mean? If I get some bad stuff. And so it's with everybody lacing your stuff with fentanyl and doing all this craziness. I
heard that was kind of not really true.
Really?
That was a little bit of fear mongering.
It may have been. I know people who smoke formaldehyde cigarettes.
A lot of it was leading to it was a hoax. So yeah.
That may be true, but they still dip if people.
Yeah, remember back in the day, you hear about people getting their spliffs laced with angel dust and stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. Angel dust. There's all types of stuff. So you gotta be careful where you get your shit from.
Yeah, and that just goes to show. And that's what I just wanted to quickly give a little PSA to the plugs out there. Like, don't act like y'all too good for your customers. Like, your customers, just because you're not a so-called legitimate business, I don't feel like quoting with two hands because I'm holding my cup. Just because you know what I'm saying, you're not on paper as a legitimate business, customer service is key for any successful business.
Oh yeah.
For me, my biggest pet peeve with plugs is like, once you start to build a rapport with them, they kind of think they could take you for granted because they think they got you on lock as a customer. I'm gonna tell you never that. I'm always on to the next plug. Please know that I got like 5 plugs behind the person that I'm currently using, always lined up. So don't think you the only one.
Jesus.
Like, I don't like plugs that act like, you feel me? And it been a little rampant lately. So I just need plugs to know. You're hearing
I got you.
I flip the script and become the plug and steal your whole customer base. Please don't do it.
She threatening your livelihoods, plug. Be careful. Be careful.
Do better customer service. Okay.
No, facts though, and that's in any business, right? If you want me to come back, you got to treat me with some respect.
I mean, talk about
you with respect
with that IG plug. Remember that IG plug?
Oh yeah, that was that bullshit. That bullshit. Yeah.
Stealing your damn money.
Yeah. I don't even want to go into that.
I know, but like I'm saying, like it's a lot of plugs out here not really taking it seriously. Like, if this is a joke to you, just do something else. Like,
but if I catch that dude on the street, I'm gonna have to holler at him. Shit, I mean, it's a problem. Like,
that's why you gotta put his name out there.
That's why I was like, I don't even want to talk about this shit because it got me riled up.
That shit to you.
And don't think I can't find you. I mean, because it's easy to find an IP address. Like, seriously, people, let's not be out there taking advantage of people and thinking that you're going to get away with it, because I already know where this nigga live. I just ain't rolled up on his house yet because I'm a little too angry to have a conversation with him. And then maybe some violence involved. But to keep my black ass out of jail. But I've already found this motherfucker. So, just so everybody knows. It's easy to do, people. It's easy.
Because I was thinking, because I'm not going to hold you, I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks. Like, this nigga just, like, really pulled the okie doke and got away, and we ain't do
like. He didn't get away. That's the thing. He think he got away, but he didn't get away.
Because I wanted us to call his ass out on the show. But I see you have a plan, so I'm going to leave you to it.
Yeah. Let me handle my business.
We're done talking about this. So, hot topics?
Yeah, let's cover them, man. Let's jump on them.
All right. So, as everyone knows, and I'm seeing on, pardon me, all over social media, Brittany Griner got released, and she's on her way. If she's not home, she's on her way home back to the United States.
Facts.
For one, I'm actually really happy that she's not going to be going to Siberia like many people were speculating and saying. Like, I pray that she has some sense and never makes this type of mistake again in life.
Yeah.
But I do understand, like, it's such an easy mistake for anybody to make. So that's why I'm just like, I know what team you're on. I'm on team we human beings, and it is
but you know, and I get that, but let's look at
we make risky mistakes. That's all I'm saying.
We do. But honestly, there are probably a couple of other people that probably should have been released before her, and that's a personal thing. Like, there are a couple of Marines that are there's a Marine that's locked up that, you know, he was out there fighting for his country and shit. So let that man come on.
Nobody is shedding the way that people have been, you know, shedding the light on Brittany. And
nobody's shedding the light on this brother over there.
Exactly.
So let's bring our Marines home. Hoorah.
I would love to know. Please, let's share the list. Let's do a segment next week.
Yeah, well, we can share a list.
Shedding light on
there's too many people over there, you know what I mean? And Brittany got the most recognition, and I get it. But like this other guy that I mentioned, and I don't know what this man's race is, Mark Fogel. I don't know what his race is, but I know that he's a teacher, and he's been teaching people for 35 years. And so, like, he went over there with a little bit of, you know, and he caught up in some BS too. So it's like, you know, if that mistake is made, then bring home, because the trade wasn't fair. Let's just be real about the
popularity contest. At the end of the day,
it is. But unfortunately, for her to come home, we had to give back an arms dealer.
I know. You think I don't know that? Yeah.
So like for me, it's a little bit of bullshit. Like,
an arms dealer might be just one of the many things he's dealing in. You feel me? Like,
that's what I'm saying. And so we got a person, we just released a killer to get back somebody who couldn't leave her pot at home. And so for me, that's a problem. You know?
I mean because it's a valid listen. I may be chuckling because that my chuckles are always for just I find the human being the most hilarious thing in the world.
Yeah.
So that's what that chuckle is. I don't think it's a funny situation. I don't think your opinion is funny. I just think it's like, damn, the fact
some
that
bullshit.
you go through things like this in the first place is it's absurd and hilarious.
Facts. Facts.
And it's the way that you cope. Like laughing is the way that I cope with like things like this, like because it's a once again it also just like reminds you of your powerlessness.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? Because this arms dealer is probably
to put whatever you want in your body, no matter where you are. What does her in consuming her cannabis have to do with politics, have to do with anything? Yes, I understand that it's the law, but one is a law based in lies and ignorance. You feel me? It's not based on cannabis is harmful and you know what I'm saying. It's been shown to people overdose like opiates. Like if she had a truckload of opiates and was, wilding the hell out, maybe I guess I would be singing the same song as everyone else and not really as compassionate as I just feel for her, like, because
no, I feel for her too, but we're talking.
And honestly, as a woman in a situation like that,
I don't know what she went. Again, at some point you got to take responsibility for your actions.
Agree.
I mean, because think about it, right? Okay, so just we should be able to put whatever we want in our body. Boom. So her just her. I don't know. I just don't think it was a fair trade. I think that the arms dealer is probably causing a lot more harm than good. And for us to give him up for the bullshit that she went over there and got caught up in on her own, it's some bullshit. And I'm glad the girl is home. Shout out to Brittany. I'm glad you're home and everything. I just don't feel like, I'd rather an AK not be in a 12-year-old's hand and Brittany still be in jail.
I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
It's a valid point, and there's nothing I could say to be like, oh yeah, you crazy, blah blah blah. Because you're right.
Yeah,
you have a point, and it's you know what I'm saying. Like we adults, she made choices, and the consequences for her choices are what they were. And it definitely wasn't an equal trade, but it was a strategic trade on Russia's part, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. They came
to play chess. They came to play chess.
And we got fucked over playing Monopoly.
For real. Money. We weren't even playing. Hi,
Hey, Marvelous Beauty Chanel.
How you doing?
Welcome
to Cypher Sistas. So glad to see you.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and let's just leave Brittany. Let her enjoy being
her freedom. No, I ain't. Look, man, if it were me, I'd want y'all to say me too. Let's be real. If it were me, I don't give a damn who you got to trade. But that's a personal opinion, right? I mean,
right.
So I can't hate the player. I gotta hate the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at the system.
Exactly.
Because we could have gotten we could have gotten the Marine back, we could have got this teacher back, and we could have got her ass back.
Along with her, I feel like it should have been like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For arms dealer? Like we could have traded 3 people. Come on now.
But it was because of how much media coverage she had.
It was. And so now, and then that just goes to show. Okay. So I will say this. Shout out to Brittany, because that was one of the first times that a Black woman got that much media coverage over an injustice.
For real. You should say a Black woman that's alive.
That's alive. Yeah. Yeah. That's alive.
Yeah.
And during in a time frame where it's still significant, because Rosa Parks did her thing, but 20 years later she got recognized. No, Brittany got recognized for doing her stuff right now. So shout out to that, because there are a lot of Black women that are missing in this country. There are a lot of Black women that are suffering in this country, and there are a lot of things that aren't happening for us, based on that. So shout out on that, and I give her much respect for that. You know what I mean?
Tell you a quick on that note story. Someone just sent me a clip of this white man punching and assaulting this black woman because she parked wrong, and they didn't charge him. It took 3 years for them to charge him, and guess how many days he had to be in jail for? Because I'm gonna say days, because it wasn't months, it wasn't weeks, it wasn't years, it was fucking days. And guess how many?
3. He got a weekend. 4. Okay. Yeah. Where was this at?
One of these white states. I think it was Texas.
She said one of the white states. I mean, they're black people.
You know what it is.
So don't say that about Texas, because black folks from Texas will be mad.
No, because they'll know what I'm talking about. Because Texas is a place that still has fucking sundown towns. I don't want to hear shit about it. Yeah. Texas is a white place. I don't want to be there. I feel it makes me like immediately it's giving Jim Crow.
There are a lot of states that still give that feeling in today's day and age. I agree. Texas is a lot more liberal than maybe Mississippi or Alabama.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't pick those.
Got sundown towns, and so does Mississippi, and so does Alabama.
Yeah,
let's just keep it a being. And I call those white places too. And I do definitely know there's mad black culture there, and I love them, and I pray for them every day, because that's a shitty ass place to be with all them people around you that hate your fucking guts. Okay, let's keep it a being.
Yeah. So speaking of white places versus black places, I recently watched a documentary on Black Myrtle Beach versus White Myrtle Beach, and I don't know if I brought this up last week, but it was like a documentary that was released, and it talked about like how the Harley Davidsons, that's considered White Myrtle Beach, and like the Black Myrtle Beach was during Memorial Day weekend, and how the laws would change so drastically, how restaurants would change the way that they service people. They would automatically start charging gratuities on folks, even though they didn't do it for the white one. They would have us go around like it was like a 23-mile loop that if you got caught in, you were stuck in that fucking loop. Now, if you ran out of gas, I guess you was just shit out of luck, because there ain't no gas stations on like any ocean strip, right? So like you would be fucked. And so a few years ago, and this was probably about maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, when I was last down there, I remember them shutting down. And I remember we sat in a situation for like 3 hours, right? Like we were just sitting there. And we were sitting there so long that a dude got out his car, and I know I'm digressing a little bit, but a dude got out his car, ordered a pizza, came back, ate the motherfucker on his hood, right?
That's crazy.
So by the time we got to the cop, I was like, yo, what's happening? And he was like, if y'all just stay in your room, we wouldn't have these problems. So you gonna dictate to me what time I get to come out, and I'm paying to be on vacation in this spot. You know what I mean? And until stuff like that starts to change, it makes you not want to visit certain places. Exactly. And it sucks, because some of these places, Myrtle Beach is beautiful.
I'm sure.
Outside of the racism. And they don't want you to know that the racism exists, because they trick you to get there.
Outside of the racism. Mississippi is beautiful outside.
All of these places are beautiful outside of it. And it's just sad that, it just makes you so unwanted and uncomfortable to be there that you just don't want to give them your money, And a lot of people are turning their backs on it because it's time.
Yeah.
Now, the South Carolina folks, the people of color down there were like, well, why don't y'all come back? Because if y'all just give up, then we'll never win this battle. And I personally, I fought my battles elsewhere. I don't want to come back. I don't want to not have a good time on vacation.
It's supposed to be a safe place.
It is.
I don't want to live around niggas that want me dead. That's the beginning and end of it for me. Like coming out my door, seeing you burning crosses on your like I'm good.
Y'all marching in hoods in front of my house. Thank you. I don't want to see that shit. I'm over it. Yeah. So I feel what he's saying, because he's like, if we give up, then they'll never win. But for me, it's like, it ain't my fight no more, brother. Like when I go on vacation, I just want to have a good time.
Be there. That's that beginning and end of it.
Yeah, I just want to have a good time. I'm on vacation, not work. So
that part, you want to be protesting on your vacation?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be protesting doing all this on my vacation.
Right on that.
Yeah. I want to lay on the beach, brother. I don't want to be, marching.
So, I think we should save the Crown Act for next week.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot. I want to give everybody that meat and potatoes they was wanting for the.
Oh yeah, we about to talk about intimacy and
Let's get into
cannabis.
the main topic. Let's get into the business, cannabis, and intimacy.
Oh shit, I got my notebook ready. I got my pen. Everybody get a pen. Everybody get paper. Come on now, get it together.
Right. So, to be clear, most of the research right now on cannabis and intimacy is very anecdotal. That means like it's more like speculation and data collection, but not really them being able to study cannabis consumers, because of course legally it's not legal federally, so a lot of research can't get funded because of that. So it's like whoever's going to be honest about what they got going on and wants to participate in the study. So I encourage y'all, just on another note, a lot of studies are blind and all they take is like your gender and your race, and you're getting that information out will give us a better voice as consumers. I'm talking about my beautiful Black people. If you are ever encounter anyone who wants to learn, get some study information, collecting data about Black cannabis consumers, speak up. Stop acting scared. I know you private, but most studies don't have identifiers. They're blind studies, especially studies of this nature. They just want to know demographic information, not, you know what I'm saying, not personal information. And it could help a lot of people if we just start speaking up about our cannabis consumption and the nature of it and how much we enjoy that shit and how we're still banging, productive, amazing people out here. You feel me?
So look, let me ask you this, okay? Because I've never seen a study, so I'd love to encourage people to do it, but I've never been approached to do a study. Have you personally? All right. So I guess we probably need to do some research on where we would find these studies and things like that too, to kind of put out there for people to start to raise their hands. You know what I mean, and get a little more exposure out there.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and maybe we can post some of that information on our Cypher Sistas Facebook page.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was my spiel real quick. Because I'm a nerd and I love data and studies. And I especially love studies about cannabis. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
All of the majority of the studies were done on women. And it's reported that women who use cannabis prior to during sex, and they experience intense arousal.
I can agree to that.
I'm leaving my commentary to the end, ma'am.
Okay. I'm a hush.
And an overall increase in their libido. For those of you who don't know what libido means, it just means your desire for getting busy. You're wanting to get busy more frequently. Yes. And then your orgasms, it was reported by all of the women said I want to say, what did the number say? 74% of the women studied said their orgasms improved exponentially. And I'm gonna go ahead and attest to that one, baby. I know I'm leaving my commentary to the end, but that one I got to attest to.
Oh, so you get to comment. I'm gonna say sometimes it ain't the size, but go ahead.
I'm done with you. So let's talk about cannabis in the body, because that's how you'll understand how it works to improve your sexual and reproductive health. Okay. Now let me ask you let me ask you a question. Should I give y'all the statistics on how it works, what like the results of how it was in the male body versus the female body, or do y'all want to know how it works in the body? Do you want to know how it works in the body first?
Let's talk about in the body in general.
All right, so in the body, cannabis works with what we have in our body called the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS. You guys, the more you get into cannabis, the more you're gonna hear this term, endocannabinoid system. And the endocannabinoid system is responsible for regulating all of the systems in your body. So your central nervous system, your endocrine system. It helps with, and if you know, I'm really trying to keep it like not too nerdy. But basically, to make it as lay as possible.
I was gonna say lay. You gotta Barney it for us, honey.
Exactly. So that's what I'm gonna say. ECS, which is the endocannabinoid system, consists of endocannabinoids And the endocannabinoids have receptors and enzymes, right?
Okay.
Here comes cannabis with its cannabinoids that are like, I wouldn't say a mirror image, but like a lock and a key.
Okay.
So our endocannabinoids and the cannabinoids in cannabis do this. Then the receptors, they connect, they communicate, and the enzymes break it down and circulate it through our body, and they work.
So we were made for it. It was made for us.
That's essentially my point that I'm getting.
Boom.
And then when you consume cannabis, the cannabinoids, depending upon which you are consuming, so it's good to consume pretty much all of the cannabinoids because it has something called the entourage effect, which means they just really work together well. It even works with 2 cannabinoids at once. Good fact, little known to regular people, lay people, and people who just didn't even notice or haven't used CBD yet. CBD actually cuts down the effects of the paranoia that's very linked to THC, the paranoia and anxiety. The right dosage of CBD with THC, chef's kiss.
So it's in my tea. Peppermint, baby.
That's just another example of how perfectly, the Most High made this plant for us to work in our body, to be real medicine for us. Like, there's a reason why you check for it, people. So that's how cannabis works in the body. And while it's working in our body, the ECS again regulates all of our systems, including our reproductive system, right?
Okay.
And it helps. It also regulates the endocrine system, which creates the hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all of those happy, lovely hormones that are linked to orgasms and to bonding and to what happens in your brain during sex and after sex, right?
Okay.
It just enhances those things. It just makes them.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
And so that's why cannabis is such a excellent tool if you're trying to improve your sexual health, if you're trying to improve your reproductive health, right? So that brings me to talking about how cannabis, what the studies show as far as how cannabis affects men and women, their reproductive health, right? All right, so the studies let's talk about men first, because the studies was like hella inconclusive when it came to you fellas. Like, one study showed negative results, that your sperm count went down, that your sex drive went down, that your pee-pees was limp. That's what they was saying, y'all. That's what the study was saying.
Wait, this is after they smoke cannabis?
Yeah. This is what's up. But to be fair, these studies, like when you read down, were done on primates. They weren't done on human men. Because like I said, they can't test that. Because then another study done by Harvard, but it was I think they call it a qualitative study. That's when they just collect data.
Okay.
It was done by Harvard, and they basically polled a whole bunch of men and collected data, and they said it improved their sex drive. And then they sampled the sperm count, and it was better quality of semen and better swimming sperm. Now, I have 6 children, and my husband is definitely a cannabis consuming man, so I might lean toward the results that Harvard study. Like, all of the men that I know that consume cannabis, they definitely are not. I don't know about their sex drive, but I will say it increased it. Health shows that they are not infertile. So I don't think you can link cannabis to male infertility. Like, I think there were other factors that they just weren't considering, and that's why you have to do the studies responsibly. Because and also, even with the study on the men who had positive, it was only white males. And that's what I'm even consider polling and gathering data. Color.
Yeah,
it wasn't a responsible study, and that's the problem.
But let's say this too: people may be scared to make those statements. Excuse me. Simply because cannabis used to have such a stigma to it. that thank you, that cannabis used to have such a stigma to it that people didn't want people knowing that they were consuming. And so especially people of color, right? Like you don't want like your job finding out and all this other shit. So like you do things in order to make sure that they don't. And that includes not participating in studies. Because truth be told, we don't be trusting all these studies. I know people. I know.
I know.
You don't trust giving nobody your information and what you got going on.
But sometimes we need to, and we need to.
Sometimes it helps. Yeah.
What we need are also responsible and respectful researchers and researchers.
And that may be the problem too.
Culturally adequate as well.
Yeah.
Culturally competent, I should say.
Yeah. Because it you know, we as culture speak very different languages.
Mm-hmm.
And so where the Latino culture may be speaking a little different than the African American culture and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And versus the African American versus the Black culture, right? Because there's two different things there.
Exactly. Caribbean people have their own cultural and diasporic exchanges and vernaculars and idioms.
Yeah.
But they do intersect with Black people. I mean, African American people. You feel me? Like, yeah. But then even Northern African American people versus Southern African American.
Very different. Very different.
Be culturally competent in all of the intersectionalities because it's a completely different, you know.
So I don't think we're there yet, but I think eventually, I think we're moving in the right direction. And you look at a lot of this legislation and stuff coming out, it's showing that, you know, we're headed in the right direction. So hopefully we'll have a lot more information. Yeah. All right, so talk to us about stuff we can use.
Let's talk about the ladies, though. Ladies.
Yeah, baby.
Ladies. All of the data shows that it's made for us. Like, it does nothing but improve our reproductive health, our sexual experiences. Like, it's thebomb.com when it comes to the ladies' health. And I can definitely attest to all of that. Like, I definitely have used cannabis and play with, you know, my own self-care for my reproductive health. So I use it to treat my cramps, which I could talk about that in a few seconds of like how you can use it to treat cramps and things of that nature. But so, like I said before, what the study showed was intense arousal and super intense orgasms, increased blood circulation, loosened inhibitions, but in a different way than alcohol. So, you know,
you're still in control and you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And you're enjoying the moment a lot more than if you were drunk, because when you're drunk, you just kind of want it. Well, it depends on how drunk you are.
But yeah, when you're drunk, and you know, like we could talk about it. A lot of women do drink to relax enough to feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable, because when you're intimate with someone, it's a vulnerable experience, and you have to feel safe enough to. You're not gonna enjoy it if you don't feel safe. You feel me? If you don't feel like you can be open and safe. And you know, the nature of the way that people hook up now, a lot of people do have to get drunk in order to seal the deal.
I mean, Tinder, all those websites and stuff, you know, hookup sites. Yeah, you got to be fucked up, because you screwing a stranger. Shit.
I'm not like, that's not my business. I'm not judging.
No, it's not a judgment thing. I'm just saying that, you know, like sometimes you just you got to be there.
Yeah, you have to be impaired but it's a desire for intimacy and for, you know.
Oh yeah. And I mean, you wouldn't be on there if you weren't looking. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. But like, you know, sometimes you need that liquid courage in order to push you over. And yeah, so it helped. You know, the cannabis is a little more safer because you're in control of your functions.
And not only that, to juxtapose, you know, cannabis to alcohol, alcohol has detrimental effects to the female reproductive system. It definitely contributes to fibroids. It contributes to difficult periods. It contributes to infertility. You know what I mean? Amongst other things in other parts of your body. Whereas cannabis, you're consuming it and it's just improving your reproductive health. You feel me? helping you balance your hormones.
So Johnny Walker or cannabis? I'm gonna have both.
I
But
mean,
moderation. See, this cup is tiny, man. It's a little
exactly.
bitty
You
ass cup.
literally took the words out of my mouth. Everything in moderation. You feel me? Like that's really the key. Moderation. There's nothing wrong with consuming your alcohol responsibly. Like I'm not against it. I was thinking of having like my hard cider today as my drink, but it's cold out here, so I had to have tea instead.
Yeah, understood.
So you know what I mean? But back to get back on track, let's talk about the products that are out there for women, because yes, there's a whole market for cannabis health, reproductive
She did
health.
the research on this, I didn't, so I'm about to take my notes here.
So hold on one moment.
You see, I was writing one. And
There we go. All right. So if you smoke or eat an edible, it's a different type of experience than you would have if you had a vaginal suppository or an anal suppository, timed before you were going to be intimate with someone, right? So, all right, let's talk about smoking and edibles. It's a cerebral high and a body high. So you're going to have different sensations and they're going to be amazing and intense.
Okay.
You can dose yourself. The suggestion is, do it about 20 to 30 minutes. Like if you're going to have an edible, let the edible kick in while you're about to get into you ride the wave.
Yeah.
That's usually, not that it's anybody's business, but that's that's how I get down. You feel me?
What up, established?
Established in 87. You came just in time.
Right?
You can do sublingual tinctures. That's when you put the dropper under your tongue. Those kick in about, I want to say, anywhere from 15 minutes, you start to begin to feel the effects. Let's see. Of course, smoking is quick, but I don't know. For me, like smoking is my own personal thing. It's not real sexy. Like I'll smoke my thing while I'm in the shower getting ready to get booed up. I guess.
Wait, how do you smoke in the shower?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like I've never smoked in the shower. Like I smoke near the shower, but like ain't your weed gonna get wet? You got a loofah in one hand and the weed in the other.
Don't get all up in my business. The same way.
I'm just like, how's this working?
The same way you can smoke in the tub, boo boo. You just gotta know how to do it.
All right.
And I don't smoke spliffs in the shower. I smoke my hitter.
Oh, okay. That's different. Because I'm like, how do you keep it from getting wet, man?
But I have smoked in the shower before, and it's just about skill. You keep your arm up. You know what I mean? And I usually am at my halfway point. When I start turning on the shower, I'm pulling, getting undressed,
Yeah, I got you.
Shower and you finish the spliff in the shower. It's amazing. Put that shit down, running water hot, you get relaxed. By the time you get out the shower, you're primed. That's all I have to say. I'm not
smoke me a spliff on the way to the bed. Out the shower. I gotta find a way to clip it. I got a cigar clip that I have for my golf cart, so I may do that. Pull that out.
I will say that methodology works for both sexes.
Okay.
It works for both sexes. It's not just for ladies, although ladies we be tense. And the thing about it is women and men are very different in their approach to sex, especially like for me as a married woman. Like I got a whole bunch of shit going on and I need to you can't just be coming up to me and like pulling a Donald Trump,
Lord.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta relax. You gotta feel like you want to be desired. You can't just be, you know what I'm saying? So cannabis definitely helps you to access that feeling very quickly.
Okay.
Or like that.
All right.
Right. So let's talk about the one downside to if you are using an edible or smoking and
Wait, why are you gonna kill the vibe? I mean,
because you need to know, ladies, it does not improve lubrication. I even saw somebody say that it gave them cotton vagina.
I mean, but wait a minute.
So like cotton mouth, cotton vagina. I was rolling when I seen that. Oh my
god! Doesn't it sometimes doesn't it make the guy a little more attractive if the conversation is deep and then you just naturally are?
I guess, but you know how some women, even if they're attracted to someone, they may not necessarily, that's why lube is made, because some women suffer from vaginal dryness and there's nothing they could do about it. Like, not to just bring it as a downer. I'm just saying, like, if you're a person who isn't naturally juicy, that shit is gonna make it worse.
Okay. So for those out there who ain't working with the WAP,
we talk about everything here, so I don't even care.
If you ain't got the WAP, we understand.
You don't have the juice.
Yeah, get you some lube, but the cannabis will still help.
But guess what? That brings us to the next thing. If you're somebody who gets cotton pum, you can use those suppositories. The suppositories, once they're melted and have broken down and you have absorbed them, it does leave you very lubricated.
Ooh, so where can we get these suppositories? You got a website or something? Or am I asking for too fast?
You have many options. There are plenty of websites that channels on YouTube and really vetted individuals. Like, there's a woman, her channel on Instagram, her page on Instagram is called Sex with Shani. She makes cannabis intimacy products like lubes and massage oils and suppositories, and she also teaches people how to make their own.
Okay.
So I'll definitely send Malika the link so that she could post it.
Okay.
And if you like, Sex with Shani has a in-depth, like, they go deep, like, talk about anal sex, like anything you want to know about cannabis and sex. Take yourself over to her page. And no one do not know her, nor do I work for her, but I do follow her, and she was a part of my research. And I definitely feel like she has some good information. Go ahead, establish in 87.
I mean, I'm looking for it, but I don't think I'm spelling it right.
If I had my phone with me, I do apologize. I don't have my phone.
Think I'm spelling it right.
It's one word. All Sex with Shani. SHANI.
Thank you. That's the first thing that came up was sex with animals. Maybe I spelled that wrong.
Are you in Instagram?
Dude, what does that say? Hold up.
Ew.
And I ain't never looked that shit up.
Stop searching. I will send it to you.
Yeah, I am because I don't want to.
Bro, they're going to take you down. So on another note, before we wrap this discussion up, and you learned all of the really good benefits of what happens, sexually when you consume cannabis, what can happen, because you can't speak for everyone. That's another thing that everyone has to really keep in mind. Your endocannabinoid system for each person, it's like your fingerprint. It's different for every single person. So what happened for Malika may not happen for me, and vice versa. And that's why you have to consider, because various factors determine what's going to happen and what your experience is going to be. So please don't sit here. Don't come here in 2 weeks or 1 week talking about, you said I was going to have the bomb orgasm. I did not guarantee that, because there's other factors that go into. I said it improves your orgasm. That means you have to be already on your way to having one. So you need to talk to the person that's giving you the loving.
Oh shit. I let them, bro. Damn. It's their fault your shit ain't working.
Okay, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Okay. Anyways.
The last little bit of tea on that note.
Got to. Lastly, once you get into suppositories, it's a good thing for women to use during their cycle, and your cycle is a full thing that happens during the month. It's not just when you menstruate and bleed. There's a whole entire cycle. So I am right now just messing around and trying to find the best times to have the suppository. I made my own, just to be clear, because I could do that. It's super easy too. It's dumb easy. All you need are the molds, really.
I think you should bring everybody suppositories for your birthday.
No, I don't.
Not for us to use then.
We're not talking about this now. We'll talk about it on my birthday at the party. All right. Back to the party. Oh, also, on a side note, because Malika made me remember, and I don't want us to not talk about it, we had to postpone our event. We decided to go ahead and postpone the event because of, for me, I definitely realized like this city is definitely on the move for Christmas and doing Christmas things and doing things with their families. And so that just wasn't the vibe. And so we're going to postpone it to sometime in the winter, in the either January.
In the near future.
Very near future. So look out for the new improved Sip and Bait with the 420 twist. So, lastly, figuring out when the best time to use your suppositories it's not a crapshoot. It's just a trial and error. Because what you're looking for is, I noticed for me, I used it like right before my period, and I didn't have any cramps.
Ooh.
My entire period. Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
I didn't have any cramps for my entire period, which was crazy because I usually do have cramps at the beginning of my cycle. So
yeah, same here. Nice not to.
So, okay. I watched a woman, and I don't remember her name right now, which is terrible, but she makes suppositories, but she makes them specifically for like if you have chronic yeast infections, chronic like just imbalances within your body. Those suppositories are really helpful to help you get good flora, cleanse. You know what I'm saying? It's a very safe way for like women who are inclined to be doing douches and things of that nature, because you're not supposed to do that. Like, I wish women would just stop doing that shit. There's like very rare occasions when it's okay, but you literally are wiping out all of your things, like all of the good bacteria and all the stuff that's actually supposed to be in there regulating your system. So stop doing that shit. Like that is like the most archaic. I don't know who even told us that was a good idea.
Baxter Gill and Summer's Eve. Some women don't know how to clean their bodies, and so it helps.
I agree, and that's
where
you can also make a steam of V steam using the cannabis herb and leaf, and it's actually really good. I've done that. I recommend it 100%. It improves circulation to the area. It improves healthy discharge production. Like, I know y'all don't want to hear about this, but you need to hear about this. Yeah. So, and brothers, you need to hear about it too, because like healthy reproductive system is for everyone.
Yeah, and if your girl stuff is like a little on the other side, it's like
yeah, exactly. Who told us to use talcum powder, right?
Exactly.
Spot on. It's like we just pick stuff up and be like, yeah, that's good for us, and it'd be poison.
It'd be horrible.
Okay. Okay. So, what's other ways? Oh, and you can also, if you feel uncomfortable using the suppositories, you can also make your own lube. Now, a lot of reproductive professionals and stuff, they say like, oil-based lube, it's a bad idea, and a lot of bacteria collects, when you especially with coconut oil. But I liked it. I liked my coconut oil based lube. It was great, and I didn't have any problems. Like, there were no side effects. It didn't throw me off. You know what I'm saying? There you can still do other infusions like aloe vera to make your own personal lube, or I guess a glycerin type of situation going on,
Yeah.
But that's when it gets complicated. And so that's why I stick with cannabis, coconut oil, and then go wash your ass when you're done. Like, I don't get it, but that's not my business. That's not my business. Like, I I'm gonna just keep it.
I don't understand. Like, you don't need to go get a rag, nothing.
What I do is I keep myself clean, so there wouldn't be a bacteria buildup problem in the first place. And also anal suppositories with cannabis. It's another way. It's a different high. And just on a quick note, you feel it. It's more of a body high.
And they only tested these on women.
I don't know what there's no data showing how many
what they did. Yeah.
I haven't.
I mean, you know, not like I'm
been mad. Like males in cannabis, males in this, males in this, and all the same stupid studies came up. It was the same stuff over and over. Oh, erectile dysfunction. Then that one Harvard study. Yeah, they don't know shit about how cannabis affects.
Is that erectile dysfunction? Damn.
But it was in primates.
No, I get it. I mean, it wasn't even humans. No, and I don't mean it in that. I'm thinking of my experiences. It didn't.
He said, "Hell yeah, women only." Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing about it: women are the kind of consumers who are going to share information with.
Yeah. We tell you what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Dude's
why
still trying to give us Spanish fly, and that shit ain't work. They still out there buying it because they haven't asked.
Thank you. If they ask, ain't no woman and buying no Spanish fly. Cut it out.
It don't work. Bill Cosby lied to y'all. But boom.
You know what I was thinking about? That episode of Sex in the City when Samantha had Viagra, and why haven't they confirmed, like, does Viagra have that really have that effect on women? Or was that shit made up?
But I don't know.
I would say I honestly can say weed is Lady Viagra, if you will.
Hey man, it works.
It definitely works, and that's the end result, guys, fellas. Roll your boo up a nice one. Dim the lights and give her a massage. You know how y'all like to use a massage as foreplay. I can't give a damn massage without wanting some pumps at the end of that. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Guess what? When your wife go to the massage therapist, that nigga ain't getting no pum. He's getting a tip and she's moving on because she ain't thinking about sex while she's getting her massage.
No, that massage feels so good.
Oh, okay? And it's not sexual.
It's not sexual.
Tension release.
Unless you go into a happy ending spot.
But men go to those.
Yeah. So they may be sexual for y'all.
Why they think that women want a happy ending after their massage.
I mean, like, dude, you just have your elbow on my back.
If I ask you to rub my back, it's not for sex. I literally want a massage. Who told men? Because
why are you fucking up their game?
It's not. I'm not the one fucking up their game. Kev on stage is fucking up their game. He got a whole bunch of videos about that, and that's how I learned that it wasn't only my husband.
Lord, you got a massager. Start with the feet and work your way up a leg.
He said
some kind of way your hands ends up in her poom.
He got a video. Point of view. My wife asked me for a massage. He rubbed her one time with his hand and then started taking off his clothes.
Oh God. Let me get naked now, baby. Just massage your feet. Let me strip.
Right? Oh man. But I guess
poor
I
guys.
Talk it up to, like, they love their women, and I know my husband love me.
That's all that matters, honey.
He just can't touch me without wanting me. So hey, you know what I'm saying? The 6 kids show it, so obviously I ain't lying.
Facts. Oh, Lord have mercy. We got anything else for the folks? We about to head out.
You know it's gonna end up one of us saying something hilariously inappropriate about our marriage because we're talking about cannabis and sex.
In real life, yeah.
Definitely would lead here. I hope my hubby could forgive me if he felt offended by what I said tonight, because I never mean to offend. I love your massages and I love the happy endings too.
Oh, sucky now.
He's more private than me. So y'all, this is the last time you ever gonna hear me talk about my boo boo. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. No more boo boo love for us.
That's right. That's right. Anyways, y'all, this has been a wonderful episode of
It
Cypher.
has been fun.
Y'all kept me warm in this cold, and I'm so grateful. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was educational as well as entertaining. And we hope to see you guys next week. Established in 87. Thanks for coming through. The marvelous, beautiful. I'm gonna say Chanel.
Yes, Chanel. That's Chanel.
All right, good. Because I said channel earlier, and I certainly apologize.
I know she was going for
coming through. Thank you for supporting. We love y'all. Have a beautiful week. Deuces.
Good night, everybody.